Call to order the Public Improvement Commission, Thursday, April 2nd, 2015. Public hearing item number 1, on a petition by the Berkeley College of Music for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to the following public ways in Roxbury. New business, March 19, 2015. Belvedere Street on its northeasterly side between Massachusetts Avenue and St. Cecilia Street. St. Cecilia Street on its northwesterly side, generally northeast of Belvedere Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Pedestrian Easement, Belvedere Street and St. Cecilia Street, Roxbury District. One sheet dated February 19, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Members of the Commission, my name is Bill Whitney. I'm the Vice President for Real Estate from the Berkeley College of Music. With me today is John Schmidt from Niche Engineering and Kevin Renner from the firm of Goulston and Stores. We have 3 petitions before the Commission this morning for the hearing. This is in relation to planned improvements to an existing building, the 150 Massachusetts Avenue building, located at the corner of Massachusetts Avenue and Belvedere Street, just on the east side of Mass Ave, a block south of Boylston Street. The project involves essentially restoring the facade to its much to its original condition when the buildings were built in the early 1900s, as well as some interior improvements. So if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'd ask John Schmidt to more fully describe the project and the specific petition before the Commission.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. Whitney.
Good morning, Commissioners. The pedestrian easement along Belvedere Street is approximately 1.5 feet wide and runs the length from Mass Ave to St. Cecilia. And the reason for the pedestrian easement, as you'll see in the next application before you, is that we'll be reconstructing the sidewalk along Belvedere to comply with the complete street guidelines, which include the addition of street trees and pervious pavers. The easement is required to ensure that the public has safe and accessible access on a minimum 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk.
Eddie?
One of the questions was the pedestrian ramp at the intersection of St. Cecilia and Belvedere.
Yes.
The ramp adjacent on St. Cecilia, is that compliant?
The ramp on the opposite corner is compliant. We've confirmed that.
Okay, I think we're good with this. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Berkeley College of Music for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement on Belvedere Street and St. Cecilia Street, described and read into the record by the chair, shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, pedestrian easement on Belvedere Street and St. Cecilia Street in Roxbury. The sheet is dated February 19th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Public hearing item number 2, on a petition by the Berkeley College of Music for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Roxbury, consisting of curb, roadway, sidewalk, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, street trees, street furniture, street lighting infrastructure, and drainage infrastructure. New business, March 19th, 2015. Massachusetts Avenue on its easterly side, generally north of Belvedere Street. Belvedere Street on its northeasterly side between Massachusetts Avenue and St. Cecilia Street. St. Cecilia Street on its northwesterly side, generally northeast of Belvedere Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs, Massachusetts Avenue, Belvedere Street, 142-150 Massachusetts Avenue, Roxbury, 2 sheets dated March 2015. Again, good morning, Mr. Whitney.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Again, this matter is in relation to the planned improvement of the streets, or particularly the sidewalk areas adjacent to the 150 Massachusetts Avenue building. We are removing a single-story addition along Belvedere Street in order to restore the building to its original exterior wall. And so we will be installing new sidewalk pavement, new street trees, recharge system as we have some additional pavement in the area. We also plan to do similar work along Massachusetts Avenue, where we will be replacing the large granite panels that obscure much of the interior of the building in order to replace that facade with new storefront. And we will be doing work on the public sidewalk, including replacement of the sidewalk where it's disturbed, and also at the urging of the street lighting department, replacing the existing street lights with the double acorn fixtures. So again, John Schmidt can give you the specific details.
Thank you.
As Bill indicated, on Belvedere Street from the intersection of Mass Ave to St. Cecilia, we'll be completely reconstructing the sidewalk along the building to provide, to comply with the complete street guidelines, pervious pavers, street trees, new street lighting, and a concrete sidewalk. Along Mass Ave, we are proposing to reconstruct at the entrance to the 142 doorway, and that requires adjusting the curb, doing some roadway work to raise the grade of the gutter, and replace that with concrete. And in front at the 150 entrance, there is a existing Edison vault, and we went to the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board, and we have a variance to do limited sidewalk reconstruction there, because the cost of adjusting that vault is just prohibitive to this project. We did meet with the city engineer and the chief engineer earlier this week to discuss other alternatives for this reconstruction work to make it a more smooth transition and less of a disjointed repair. And we are continuing the conversations with the city, and we'll be likely seeking another variance from the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board to reconstruct the sidewalks, but with some, but they will not be strictly code compliant to the disability code. And the reason for that is they're not only to provide a complete sidewalk reconstruction, but to reconstruct these sidewalks completely in compliance, it is a cost burden to Berkeley College, because it does require extensive sidewalk or roadway work beyond what is proposed on this plan.
Could you just give me a little more information about the street lighting, what you're changing out and what you're changing them to?
Street lights on Mass Ave, the poles and fixtures will be replaced with the LED lighting similar to what's in front of the dormitory building next door.
Great.
And then the lighting here, I think it's single 4-point.
That's correct. Presently, on Mass Avenue, there are precast concrete poles and Cobra head fixtures. The standard we've been advised for Massachusetts Avenue going forward are the double acorn fixtures on Massachusetts Avenue, single acorn on the side streets. And so that's what we plan to do.
Great, thank you.
What I do not see that's demonstrated on this plan is the existing parking meters being laid out within your new design on Belvedere. Does it work with the proposed tree pits?
We did not explore that.
That's going to be very important that you figure that one out.
Okay, we'll coordinate that before we go to,
You should provide a plan, and we probably can do it through the construction management plan.
Okay.
Basically with the meter layout as the
Yeah.
final restoration.
Yeah.
Additionally with new signage, markings, et cetera.
Yeah,
Should be included in that.
I do understand that the construction management plan has been submitted to the city, and Berkeley has received some comments that they'll be responding to shortly.
What is not in the construction management plan that we'll need to work on is, I'm looking at full depth reconstruction on Mass Ave. That was not included in the CMP. So we need to discuss that and develop that into the CMP. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the petition of the Berkeley College of Music for the making of specific repairs as read into the record by the chairman. On Massachusetts Avenue on its easterly side, generally north of Belvedere Street. Belvedere Street on its northeasterly side between Massachusetts Ave and St. Cecilia Street. St. Cecilia Street on its northwesterly side, generally northeast of Belvedere Street. As shown on the set of plans titled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division Specific Repairs, Massachusetts Ave, Belvedere Street, 142 to 150 Massachusetts Ave, Roxbury, 2 sheets dated March 2015, with the provision that they obtain any necessary variances from the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Public hearing item number 3, on a petition by the Berkeley College of Music for the granting of a projection license for for the installation of 2 canopies over portions of the sidewalk within Massachusetts Avenue, Roxbury, located on its easterly side, generally north of Belvedere Street. New business, March 19, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Canopy License Plan, Massachusetts Avenue, 142-150, Massachusetts Ave, Roxbury, one sheet dated March 2015. Morning again.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Bill Whitney from the Berklee College of Music. As part of the 150 Massachusetts Avenue facade improvement project, we are proposing to create 2 canopies, one over the existing entry at 142 Massachusetts Avenue, which will be expanded to 3 doors, as well as at the corner of Massachusetts Avenue and Belvedere Street to delineate that entry as well. And again, John Schmid from Niche Engineering can give you the details.
Thank you.
This rendering here indicates the canopy projection at the corner of Mass Ave and Belvedere. Both canopies are minimally 10 feet above grade to project approximately 5 feet into the sidewalk, which is about a third of the sidewalk width. They are heat traced and internally drained.
I've looked at the drawings and they appear to be in compliance. I have no problem.
Ready? Good. Okay, any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Berklee College of Music, granting of a projection license in Mass Ave and Roxbury, described and read into the record by the chair for 2 canopies, as shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, canopy license plan for Massachusetts Avenue, for the 142 to 150 Mass Ave Roxbury project, dated March 2015.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you very much. Public hearing item number 4, on a petition by the trustees of Boston University for the making of specific repairs within Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, located on its southerly side, generally west of Silver Way, and consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, streetlights, street trees, street furniture, landscaping, and drainage infrastructure. New business, March 19, 2015, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, Commonwealth Avenue, 610 Commonwealth Avenue, Boston, 2 sheets dated March 2015. Good morning.
Good morning. Excuse me, I'm Paul Rinaldi from Boston University. Chelsea Christensen from Niche Engineering and Jesse Siegel from Haley and Aldrich will provide the board with the commission with more information on the specifics. But I'm here to present the Center for Integrated Life Science and Engineering at 610 Commonwealth Avenue in the second block just west of Kenmore Square. It's a 9-story building of about 145,000 gross square feet with no basement. In consultation with the Redevelopment Authority, through the Article 80 process, we were asked to move the building closer to the sidewalk, to the property line, and also look to widen the sidewalk in that area, which are the subjects of the, which result in our petitions before the board. Regarding the specific repair, the details for our plan on the sidewalk is consistent with the plans and details of Commonwealth Avenue Improvement Project Phase 1, which was done about 3 or 5 years ago. Also, any of the improvements fall under the maintenance agreement that we have with the city for the entire strip from Kenmore Square to the BU Bridge. One pending item is a hearing on the removal of the trees, which we have scheduled. We have a public hearing scheduled for next Thursday morning with the tree warden, and I'm told that the commission has a letter from the warden confirming that. Let me introduce Chelsea to go over the specific repair.
Thank you, Mr. Rinaldi.
Good morning. I'm Chelsea Christensen from Niche Engineering. The specific repairs include the closing of an existing curb cut to the parking lot that is to be removed and replaced with the new building. The sidewalk in front of the building will be widened to provide a 14-foot concrete strip and a planters and a 1.25-foot porous brick strip along the back of curb. The light poles will be removed and reset to be centered between the trees and the planters. And the further to the west, we are showing the removal and replacement of trees and parking meters as a result of the construction management plan and the damage we expect to be done in that area. The sidewalk along the parking area will remain 7.5-foot concrete with the same 1.25 brick strip.
We received the construction management plan. It's in process. What I'm looking at on this plan that's not involved, does not articulate in the CMP is the drainage work and water utilities. That needs to be integrated into the construction management plan. That really has to be phased because where that's showing is where the temporary walkway is going to be during construction. So we've got to come up with a plan of how we're going to deal with that project. Okay.
I'm a little confused with one item here. I'm trying to follow the new curb line, and where it seems to step out, it also seems to continue forward. So if you follow down from where you say new catch basin, there's another radius turning out, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening there. It comes in, you come out, and if you go another 20, 30 feet down the street, there's another similar.
That is the existing edge of the curb bump out.
Okay.
And
that's
so
being
it's,
moved?
the bump out's being moved, a total of, I believe, 3 parking spaces to the
Right,
end
so
of the
it's an
building.
existing being removed.
Yeah.
Just one thing on the removal of the meters. It's annotated on the plan that they'll remove the meter and return them to us. We'll remove the meters. Don't have your contractor remove them. Well, they may have a visit from Boston Police. So we can-
Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, contingent on the vote next Thursday with the tree warden and Mr. Hesford's concerns about the CMP, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by the trustees of Boston University for making specific repairs within Commonwealth Avenue and City proper, described and read into the record by the chair, shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repairs plan for Commonwealth Avenue at 610 Commonwealth Avenue. 2 sheets are dated March 2015 with the provisions as stated by the chair.
Second?
All in favor? So moved. Public hearing item number 5 on a petition by the trustees of Boston University for the granting of an earth retention license for the installation of a temporary earth retention system within Commonwealth Avenue, Boston proper, located on its southerly side, generally west of Silver Way. New business, March 19th, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Temporary Earth Support Plan, 610 Commonwealth Avenue, Boston, 1 sheet dated February 2015. Good morning again, Mr. Rinaldi.
Good morning. Again, this is regarding the Center for Integrated Life Science and Engineering. It is a 9-story building with no basement. In consultation with the Boston Redevelopment Authority, through the Article 80 process, they asked us to move the project building tight to the property line. As a result, although we are not doing a deep excavation, as Jesse Siegel from Haley and Aldrich will describe, the excavation does require supportive excavation along the avenue. Jesse.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jesse Siegel with Haley and Aldrich. As you can see on the plan, we're going to be installing a drilled-in soldier pile and lagging wall. It'll run along the green strip you can see on the plan. Also, as shown over here to the right, the wall will be cut 6 feet below grade after we're completed with the project. The depth of the excavation will be approximately 8 feet, and we won't be going below the water table, so we won't have any dewatering involved.
Steve, do you have all the utilities that you need to serve your building, or do you need additional utility connections off Commonwealth Avenue?
I defer to Chelsea on that.
Chelsea Christensen from Niche Engineering. We do have new utility connections, new water services coming into the new building, as
So
well
you
as
do-
some
that's a yes?
additional drainage, yes.
So, and will you be cutting Commonwealth Avenue for those?
Yes.
So when you're getting those new taps, new laterals, they will be above your 6-foot cutoff point.
They are above 6 feet.
So, Harry, this is a concern because now you are eating further and further within to that city space underneath the sidewalk. Okay, so I have two concerns. One, you will be chopping up Com Ave. Are you planning on resurfacing Com Ave after you do, Chelsea? The things which I asked. So, plus be mindful because your earth retention system will be at 6 feet below, but we are going to put laterals above that, which is going to limit the amount of net space which we have. So give some consideration, and Chelsea, I think you should be able to sort it out so that the laterals are coming at a height where you can still enter the building, but we are keeping as much cover as possible underneath the sidewalks.
I think it's, in this case, what's happening is that the utilities are under the sidewalk,
Or even the,
so they don't have to go out in the street. And the other thing is that because the building's on a slab, they don't have a basement, so they don't have to come out deep. They can come out right underneath the slab,
Slab.
and they'll come above the 6-foot cutoff, so they won't have to cut into the sheeting wall.
Oh, but the sewer line runs through
They'll
the
come
temporary
out
wall,
and
right?
then-
They're gonna sleeve through that?
No, they just come out and drop into the sewer in this case.
I thought it showed it penetrating the wall.
So,
Sewer?
The sewer will be above the 6, well, it's less than 6 feet deep, though.
Okay, I'm looking at something that shows that it's within the remaining portion of the wall. Sewer elevation.
The existing sewer?
Yeah, 6 to 8 feet,
yeah, that's sewer's existing, that's the public
So
sewer.
that'll remain below, yeah. So sleeve through, all right.
The new sewer will come above and drop down into it.
Any good? Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition of the trustees of Boston University granting of an earth retention license on Commonwealth Avenue in Boston proper, as described and read into the record by the chair, and is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, temporary earth support plan for 610 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston, dated February 2015.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you very much. Public hearing item number 6, on a petition by Boylston West LLC for the granting of a projection license for the installation of a canopy over a portion of the sidewalk within Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, located on its northeasterly side, generally southeast of Van Ness Street. New business, March 19th, 2015, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Projection License Plan, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, one sheet dated March 5th, 2015. Good morning.
Good morning. Mark Younghands with Vanessa and Bruslin. Happy to be in front of you this morning. I'm with Abe Menzen of Samuels and Associates and Bill Dillon of Golston and Storrs, who's the project counsel. Turn it over to Abe Menzen.
Abe Menzen, nice to see you again. We were here on new business related to a small canopy on the corner of Kilmarnock and, on Kilmarnock Street. As we mentioned, we had been in front of Public Improvement Commission previously to review all the canopies, and this particular one was missed. It was picked up on a lender's survey. The building's nearly complete. It's a small projection, and Mark can walk you through the details.
For refreshment, the site is located in the Fenway neighborhood of Boston on Boylston Street. This is the 1330 Boylston Street project. This is the site. It looks a lot different now. It's actually looks like an almost complete building. This is a rendering of the project that was produced before construction started. We had spent a lot of time previously on this larger awning on the Kilmarnock and Boylston Street intersection, right here. And the awning that we're talking about is actually along Kilmarnock Street. You can see it in the background here. It extends 3.83 feet into the public way. It is 12 feet above grade. The area is 385 square feet. The detail of the projection is shown. It's interior. It has an interior drain, so it won't create icicles. And we've sent notifications to the PSC's list of agencies and utility authorities, and all the responses we've gotten back have been positive and supportive, and have been filed with the PSC office.
I haven't looked at the sections and details. I don't have any questions. I do have a question for the chair. For my own edification, do these require separate licenses, or would this become an amendment to the previously approved license?
This will get a separate license on this one, because we've already executed the first one.
Yeah. Any members of the audience have any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition by Boylston West LLC for the granting of a projection license for the installation of a canopy over the portion of the sidewalk within Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, located on its northeasterly side, generally southeast of Van Ness Street, and as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston, Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Projection License Plan, Kilmarnock Street, Boston proper, one sheet dated March 5th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First item of new business, 11 Seaport Boulevard, South Boston, specific repairs, temporary earth retention on a set of joint petitions by MS Boston LLC and MS Seaport Block J LLC. Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, I'm Peter Kohansky from Goulston and Storrs. I'm here on behalf of MS Boston Seaport LLC, which is the master plan developer of the Seaport Square project, as well as MS Seaport Block J LLC, the owner of Block J of Seaport Square. With me is Andrew Albers of Boston Global Investors, representing MS Boston, John Schmidt of Niche Engineering, Heather Scranton from Haley and Aldrich is here, Guy Busa from Howard Stein Hudson, the traffic engineer, and Matt Sewell from Reed Hildebrand, the landscape architect. The approvals that we're seeking relate to Block J of Seaport Square. As you'll remember, we've been in front of the Commission for a number of Seaport Square blocks to date. There are two petitions before you today. The first is for specific repairs to Seaport Boulevard alongside Block J. The other is for a temporary earth retention system also in Seaport Boulevard. So just a quick introduction to the building and the property. It's a parcel of land on the south side of Seaport Boulevard. It's next to the MBTA Silver Line head house, and on one end, and then Block H of Seaport Square, which is a parcel that will be home to the New Catholic Chapel and a small office and retail building. The Commission has already approved specific repairs along Seaport Boulevard for Block H, as well as for Blocks B and C on the other side of Seaport Boulevard. Block J is the site of a new hotel. It's a hotel under the Yotel brand, which has a sort of a micro unit concept. So the hotel, the total size of the building is about 100,000 square feet, but it has about 326 small hotel units within it. It will be built both on land owned by the proponent and in air rights around the MBTA head house. Just want to mention one significant public realm improvement that comes with this block under Seaport Square's PDA plan is this pedestrian connection between blocks H and J, which will create a sort of an important pedestrian link where now there's a 3-foot grade change between Seaport Boulevard and blocks H and J. That will be a pedestrian plaza that will link Seaport Boulevard with Farnsworth Street running into Seaport Boulevard. So I'll turn it over to John Schmidt. He can walk you through the details of the specific repair plan. Or retention, John, whatever you want to do.
Whatever. The specific repair plan continues the improvements along Seaport Boulevard in conjunction with the master plan details that the commission approved approximately a year ago. As Peter indicated, we're extending sidewalk improvements down Seaport Boulevard past past Farnsworth Place to Thompson Place. There is a bump out here to allow safe crosswalk across Seaport Boulevard. And this bump out was actually approved in 2014 as part of the B&C project. So really, we're just infilling the sidewalk with pervious pavers, concrete sidewalk, street trees, and new street lighting. And it's in compliance with the details that this commission had approved about a year ago.
John, in the median section,
Yes.
let's start off with the bullnose. There's a yellow color circular.
Yes.
What is that?
Those are street lights. And actually, this median was approved by the commission last year.
Second, at block B for Bravo, you know, where you have a net side roadway width of 26 feet. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, good enough for two travel lanes.
Correct.
Does it also accommodate any bicycle accommodation which the city may be envisioning along Seaport Boulevard?
So what's the bike lane?
Yeah, because, so which is, can you give me the dimensions of the bicycle lane? Because I can't do the math in my head and come up with 26 feet. Trust me, the math doesn't add up.
Yeah, so it's going to have to be 10 and a half.
Okay, so Mr. Busa, we can't be guessing this stuff. So I think you need to make sure that your pinch point is adequate to cover the city's bicycle needs, not work backwards and give I don't want to use the word substandard. Please structure it so it's not an exercise where you are backdoing to what the cycle accommodation is going to be.
Yeah, we'll look at that. No, that's fair with what we've done before, but we haven't looked at it. We haven't looked at it with new eyes.
But you need
Yeah.
to, because
Yeah.
that whole South Boston waterfront area,
Yeah.
you got either Seaport Boulevard or Northern Avenue coming in, and
Yeah.
the bicycles need to be accommodated in one of those corridors. Make sure your program is consistent with the city's.
Yeah, and if we have to tweak this curve a foot or so, we'll do that before
before
the public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just on the BTN, I know there's been discussion, what to do with the BRA, the consultant in our signal engineering. What's the status of the review for signalization of that mid-block?
So we're still, this is Howard, Guy Busa, Howard Stein Hudson again. We are in the process of doing a corridor plan for BTD from East Service up to Sleeper Street on Seaport Boulevard that include all the signals, proposed signals, and signal warrants, and that would include the mid-block crossing at this location too. So you should be getting that month or so, I would guess, at the latest.
Well, I'm concerned about that, is that we're taking a vote on something that, potentially has some redesign issues if, in fact, we're going to be doing signalization.
We're designing it for signalization, regardless of its warrant,
Kyle, are
actually.
you going to wrap the intersection or that mid-block crosswalk? Make sure that the
Yes.
underground infrastructure gets
Yes.
put as part
Yes.
of this.
Yes, that is.
We've asked for interconnects
Yep,
to.
yep. Mhm.
Plus the appropriate locations for all the vertical
That's right,
hardware that is
right.
needed. And you can install them at your expense at a future
Right.
point in time, but at least you won't need to destroy the investment you made.
And this is a main arterial.
Correct.
And there is no unsignalized location.
That's right.
For crossing, so.
We understand that, right.
With Vision Zero, you need to do this.
We feel our preliminary look at it, we feel that a signal is warranted, and we've been processing the design with that understanding. So,
Just wrap it.
but the report will confirm that.
No, but include that work as part of this.
Sure. Yes, thank you.
Additionally, the meter layout doesn't seem to add up on the plan as you have it designed. You also showing parking meters that are in the next down area, not being removed. So this up, just
Yep.
freshen up the plans.
Now, Ed, is that information, as far as the parking meters go, are you comfortable if that's on the CMP, or is that something that I should begin to think about
If we're at new business right now, let's get it done here, you know?
on this plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions before we move on to the temporary earth retention? I'll just talk about the temporary earth retention first.
The temporary earth support is along Seaport Boulevard. It's sheeting. It's about 18 inches into the public way from back of sidewalk, 18 inches in. It will be cut to be it will be cut 6 feet below grade at project completion, so that space will be available again to the city for any infrastructure needs they may have. The proponent is scheduled to meet is in the process of reviewing the plan with the MBTA because we do abut the Silver Line Tunnel, and we have a meeting with them on April 12th with their construction and design group to review the plans and make sure that they're all okay with what we're proposing here.
Which day again, John? I'm sorry, I missed it.
12th.
So,
April 12th.
yes. You are still in need of ongoing dialogue with the team. You will ask for us to extend your...
Yes, we understand that. We do anticipate that we'll have their blessing by the 19th.
Given that this section was taken at the MBTA wall line, so you're dealing with that separately, is there any reason they can't drop the height, drop the top of the wall a couple more feet for the duration? Anything preventing them from cutting it down 8 feet or?
Oh, you mean the sheeting?
Yes.
At the end of the project? Is there any reason why we couldn't cut it another 2 feet? No, we'll take a look at it.
All right, little bit of homework to do. Yeah, par for the course, right? Yeah.
Expect nothing less.
Exactly. Will 2 weeks be enough time?
We think it will.
Yeah, we think it will. If it's not,
For both of them? Yeah,
I'll
okay.
ask for a continuance.
Okay,
All right.
and then we'll see you April 16th for a public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. New business item number 2, 711 Atlantic Avenue, East Street, Boston proper, grant of location on a petition by Teleport Communications America LLC. Morning.
Good morning. My name is David Edgar. I'm with Sienna Engineering Group. We are consultants for Teleport Communications America. Teleport has petitioned the city as lead company for the placement of telecommunications conduits along East Street, and there are no participants for this project. The proposed work involves the placement of approximately 150 feet of conduit and one 4-foot by 4-foot manhole along East Street from the intersection of South Street to the private alley known as East Street Place. And this work is required to provide service to the building at 711 Atlantic Ave. One 4-foot by 4-foot manhole will be installed over existing Teleport conduits that were installed in 2009 along South Street. And from said manhole, 2 4-inch conduits and 2 city shadow conduits will be installed along East Street to a point where 1 4-inch and 1 city shadow will be capped for future use, and 1 4-inch and 1 city shadow will turn and head down the alley East Street Place to provide service to the building.
Dave? Dave, you're showing steel plates.
Correct. We're using, for the last 2 or 3 years, Teleport has been using a product called Gilsolate during initial installations, and this will protect the conduits from, any steam damage that could potentially occur. It insulates up to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
How will the city rebuild East Street in the future when your plates are just 16 inches below the road surface? How can I use a backhoe and do full depth reconstruction of East Street now with your plates being that low? I didn't know whether you want to take over East Street. Can take East Street.
Well, I believe that have at least 20 inches of cover above the plates in some locations.
16 inches cover.
16 inches of cover?
16-inch depth of cover.
Okay.
The backhoe is going to rip that plane out, or more to the point, it's going to make it awkward for the commissioner's department to rebuild that street. So you need to sort things out.
Okay.
Okay? We recognize the fact that you want to protect your asset from the steam, but your solution puts the department and the city into an awkward spot.
Okay, well, I mean, we could probably do away with the steel plate on top of the conduit.
The depths will be evaluated with Ms. Cording. She will give you guidance on how to best manage your needs while we protect the city's interest.
Understood.
And if there's a logjam, I'm sure the legal team can figure out how to protect the city's interest from the maintenance agreements.
Okay.
Is the steel plate, what's the purpose of it anyway? I mean, if you're using a specialized insulation to protect your conduit from potential damage from a steam conduit, what do the steel plates do in addition to that?
The steel plate on the top is more for protection because we will be shallow in these areas. On the bottom, it is to provide a buffer and a solid surface over the concrete encased steam lines, almost to form it and keep the material in place.
But you could leave the bottom one and get rid of the top one.
We could, absolutely,
I mean,
yes.
one alternative would just be to put a pipe there, put your conduit inside the pipe, and then fill it with the insulation that you need. That would solve both problems.
We have employed that method for notching an FRE pipe and then installing the 4-inch pipes inside of it and filling the void with the gilsolate material.
Yeah, that's a much better solution. You could even use an iron pipe.
Okay.
If you feel that would protect you better. That way it's much deeper. You don't have those plates underground. It's probably cheaper for you and it's better for the city.
It will be cheaper construction, right, Steve?
But I think it's much better.
So give it some consideration, work with the PIC staff and propose something that is looking after your interests as much as the city's. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, we're happy to do that.
Amy, will they have to modify the plans to reflect that? Yes.
Yeah, that's fine, and
So
this is new
that all
business,
can be
so,
done
yep.
within the new business norms.
Okay, do you think 2 weeks will be enough time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then we'll see you on April 16th for a public hearing. Thanks,
thank
Dave. Yep. Third item of new business, 10 Summer Street, Boston proper, Sidewalk Cafe, on a petition by Roach Brothers Supermarkets. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioner. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, you're all right, yeah.
All right.
That was an April Fool's joke.
One day late. I'll give a brief introduction and then hand it over.
Sure.
Brad Mahoney from Millennium Partners. We are the developer on behalf of MP Franklin Burnham Co., LLC. Here with the Roach Brothers team. Excited to talk about the Roach Brothers Sidewalk Cafe because later this month they'll be opening their store in the Burnham building in the former Filene's basement space on the B1 level and a few thousand square feet on the first floor. So with us today, Larry Baxter from Roach Brothers. He will be the store manager for the Downtown Crossing flagship store. Jared Gentilucci from Niche Engineering and his associate Chris Hodney from Niche Engineering. We also have a few of the other Roach Brothers team, as well as their architect, Chuck, from Plan B. We've been working closely with the bid, with the city, talking about the Roach Brothers Sidewalk Cafe in terms of the design, the requirements, cleanliness, and Jared can walk us through the cafe design right now.
Great, thank you.
Morning. Again, for the record, Jared Gentilucci with Niche Engineering. Plan we have shown here, this is a rendering of the Sidewalk Cafe for Roach Brothers. This is looking, you're standing in Summer Street, looking, this is Burnham Building in the background. I'm going to switch over to the PIC plan, go into the specifics of the design. So our Sidewalk Cafe area will measure 34 feet by 13.3 feet. We will have the area delineated by 8 planters. There'll be 4 planters at the corners that measure 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet tall. And we have 4 planters in the middle that measure 14 inches wide, 7 feet long, and 3.5 feet tall. The spaces between the planters are set at a minimum of 3 feet. We also have some larger open areas between the planters that we set at 6 feet wide. We do have, most of the areas between the planters are open. We do have some cabling between the planters at the west end, at the east end, and this small opening in the south end at the center. Those are 1/8-inch diameter stainless steel cables. They start a foot off the ground, and there's 5 rows of cables, 4 inches on center. We have a total of 6 tables, 20 chairs, and we also have 2 accessible spots shown here and here. We have the minimum 3 foot required between chairs for accessibility purposes. We have 2 tables. The east and the west table both have umbrellas with clear height of 84 inches, and all of the tables will have a tabletop height of 30 inches. The Sidewalk Cafe will be open to the public. It won't be just specifically for customers of Roach Brothers. There won't be a wait staff specifically for the Sidewalk Cafe. However, Roach Brothers will have staff available for general cleanup, things like that. As Brad mentioned, we have met with Disabilities Commission and BRA to coordinate the design, working with them to make sure that we were meeting all the accessibility requirements and clearances. And we also have support from both BID as well as Millennium Partners.
What are the anticipated hours and days of operation?
We plan on being open, we'd like to be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and that would be 7 days a week.
Okay. I recently received a letter in support from the bid, from Rosemary Sansone. So.
Yeah. Can you put your rendition?
Sure.
Even though you refer to this as a sidewalk cafe, it's technically on the roadway part, right?
That is correct. It is not directly up against the building.
So, because we raised the whole street, yes?
Say that again?
Did we raise the whole street? I mean, it is at one grade?
Flush, yes.
It's flush?
Yes.
So even though there is an understanding that this is combined pedestrian/vehicular space, vehicles are still allowed to be in this. Are vehicles allowed here?
Yeah, and this is where you see they set up the stands.
Yes. Yeah, this is between, mid-block between Washington and Holly Street on Summer Street.
There's still enough room for vehicle and public safety.
For fire trucks.
John, I'm not sure exactly how to do this, but because this is not in the classical sidewalk space, make sure that there's understanding and recognition that this activity is within a vehicular space also, and to ensure that there's...
We did the same thing with Walgreens at Washington and School Street.
Yes. Excellent, thank you.
I should mention too that all the planters, tables, everything is movable. Nothing is secured to the ground surface. And we do have 20-foot clear from the Sidewalk Cafe edge to the closest light pole. So we did look at clearances for general vehicles, but also emergency vehicles, fire trucks, and we do have the room, yes.
Will you be managing this during winter months?
Will we be managing
during the winter
during
months?
Winter?
No.
No, we're probably We'd like to
sidewalk cafe, things will
Right,
kick
we
in.
have a season.
Yes, weather
So,
permitting.
Even though it is for common use, it will still go by those same
Yeah.
guidelines.
Yep.
And they will still abide by all the sidewalk cafe regulations, even though this is on this roadway
Correct.
surface.
Yep.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jason already addressed my issue about sidewalk versus roadway, so that's all set. But do they have access to public toilets?
Yes. Our store will have customer restrooms.
The handholds that are in there, I don't have the complete plan here that we had before that you gave us, but what are those handholds for?
The handholds within the roadway?
Yeah, they're within the footprint of the cafe.
I believe the handholds are for street lighting. I believe
I
those,
want to make sure that they're not, they don't have an electrical component inside, people sitting on top of them.
Okay.
Because if they have a conductive cover, they can pose them.
correct, right. I believe the one, we have one that is within the cafe area shown right here. I believe that's for street lighting, and that was recently installed. That would have the non-conductive pull box and cover.
Deposit that we've got out on something.
That's what I was hoping.
Okay, yep.
Just check on that. please.
Yes, absolutely.
Does the store actually, I know most of the Rhodes Brothers, in fact, my son works for Rhodes Brothers. Does the store have carriages that they're gonna be using? Is it internal or external?
The carriages will be used downstairs at the supermarket level.
Okay.
That'd be one.
So somebody could bring the carriage out to the cafe?
No, the carriages won't be going upstairs.
Will 2 weeks be enough time? Will 2 weeks be enough time?
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. We'll see you on April 16th for a public hearing.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fourth item of new business, A Street, South Boston, widening and relocation on a petition by AP Channel Center Garage LLC. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the commission and members of the PIC staff. My name is Rebecca Lee. I'm with a law firm of Lock Lord, formerly Palmer and Dodge. And with me is Eli Long from CV Properties. We are here on behalf of the proponent, AP Channel Center Garage LLC, the entity that has been part of the developer team for what's known as One Channel Center, which comprises the approximately 525,000 square foot building now occupied by State Street Bank on A Street, a small vest pocket park called Iron Street Park, a 900 car garage, and more importantly, and most importantly perhaps, the 1.5 acre park now known as A Street Park, located on A Street in South Boston. And this is a depiction of the park, which is bounded on its west by A Street, on its south by West First Street, on its east by a new street called Medallion Avenue, constructed by the developer, and on its north by another new street, Richard Street, also this development. We're here today at the request of city agencies for a layout of A Street for a future widening of A Street not yet program. So this is not an imminent project. This is a project that the city is planning for in the future that's called for in the 100 acres master plan. And it calls for a widening of A Street. And the reason I wanted to show you this first is to show you that the logic behind the city's drawing of where the layout line is, because it's irregular and a little bit unusual. The layout line is designed to encompass what is right now a pedestrian walking path along this edge of the park. The crosswalks, of course, are here. So folks who decide to enjoy walking along the park do have to jog over here and make the crosswalk. But the notion was that the widening would include all of this area to the west of it as part of the right-of-way to meet a PIC stricture that the ADA compliant sidewalk be within the publicly owned right-of-way. So you have the improvements to remain for now, and perhaps A Street will be widened in the future, but what it avoids is a situation where this park, which is to be conveyed to the Parks Department in the next weeks, after a Parks Commission final approval at the end of this month, you won't be in a situation where they've been conveyed land that in the future is going to be part of a street and therefore has to go through the Article 97 legislative process. So there will be a split conveyance. There will be the park lands conveyed to the city via the Parks Department, and the street portion to be conveyed to the city in care of the Public Works Department. So what I have on the other side is, this is the PIC plan that you have in front of you that shows this layout with a line that shows this pedestrian path and these improvements within the street right of way. And that is the logic. It follows the current improvements of the park, which could well be changed based on what the final layout of A Street is. And then in terms of the future conveyance, what this plan shows, just for your information, is that this is what gets conveyed to the Parks Department. This is what gets conveyed for potential street purposes. So no improvements are part of this petition. This literally is just a layout approval being requested at the request of the city.
Ms. Lee, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
The wedge shape on city street layout, is there any way you can structure it so that the programming purposes are properly accomplished, but any trees that are programmed within that public works space, because we are not very good at maintaining trees, if it can be encompassed into a city agency that are in the business of managing trees?
Oh, thank you for reminding me to mention this. So what is actually being proposed is a conveyance of A Street Park to the Parks Department. A Street Park is to be managed by a group of the 100 acres landowners under the 100 acres master plan. They are responsible for A Street Park, and they will remain responsible, as the current owner is, for the maintenance of all the streetscape improvements around A Street Park. So everything that you're seeing on the plan will remain the responsibility of private parties and not the Department of Public Works.
Are those agreements executed, Ms. Lee, or
Yes.
are they?
Yes, there are license and maintenance indemnification agreements in place for this owner.
Right,
And
we're just
those,
moving
the
forward.
responsibilities will be transferred to the new owner organization.
They're
So-
maintaining the park and the sidewalk, so this
So
situation.
even the snow clearance, there are two aspects of it, making sure the tree is alive, that's one. Two, who is going to be shoveling the snow within that expanded public sidewalk now, keeping in mind that there's no direct abutter or a homeowner that can get tagged with it,
The landowners organization will remain responsible for this block.
including that interesting looking.
Yeah, the wedge is right here.
Yeah.
And so if you're walking it today, it feels like part of the park, and it is maintained as part of the park.
So at any cannot be done so the park gets park looking areas and public works doesn't get a really whacked
Well,
out
this
looking.
is to avoid the situation where Public Works needs to acquire land from the Parks Department in the future. We know that we're gonna widen A Street because we have
But
3
it-
feet.
It's just giving us 68.
Then
68
we have to
consistently.
take down those trees to put in a new sidewalk, or we can use the
Okay,
sidewalk
so
that's there.
you thought it through.
Yes. This is so that everything can remain the same, we're just moving the line.
And they did a very good job of maintaining it this winter. We kept an eye on it. It was one of the locations in the city where the new construction last year, I always wonder how it held up under such an extreme winter, but I went by the other day and it looks like it's surviving.
Thank you.
Some aren't, right?
Well, we have warranties on the trees.
Right. Good. Will 2 weeks be enough time? Okay, yeah, we'll see you on the 16th for a public hearing then.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First item of public roadway acceptance. At the request of AP Channel Center Garage for the acceptance as a public roadway of West First Street, South Boston, between A Street and a joint and a point approximately 275 feet southeasterly. Good morning again.
Good morning again. Still Rebecca Lee from Loch Lord and Eli Long from CV Properties. This is the first of 3 actions involving new streets, as I mentioned earlier, constructed as part of the One Channel Center project. These streets were constructed by the developer in accordance with plans approved by the city's transportation department, and they have been inspected and approved for acceptance by all of the relevant city agencies, and we have submitted the documentation to Amy reflecting the sign-off of all of the city agencies.
Good.
Yep, all these 3 streets have been accepted by all city agencies, and after their acceptance here, official city streets.
So that, is there any residential in there?
No, this
No.
is all non-residential.
Okay. But the reason I asked is it's Thursday trash day, so we would prefer to sweep it on Friday. Is there parking in and?
Yeah, there's parking here. This is public parking, and it's signed for BTD, and this is street parking as well. There's no parking on Richard Street, and there's no parking on A Street, correct?
Just thinking of a coordinated street sweeping effort on Fridays, preferably when we're down there.
Just on the housekeeping, PIC, obviously, police and fire, EMS did not sign off on this. Proper notification has gone out to them on these streets?
Yes, so we, once we approve them here for construction, we notify fire and EMS so that they're aware as soon as they show up in the real road.
Right, because they've got to get it into their CAD system for
Yep.
response.
Absolutely.
So, what's the final process for these, for the acceptance of these?
This is it?
This is it, okay, that's fine, no, it's better, okay. So,
Yeah, they work through all the individual cities, agencies that go out for inspection. We have a sheet with a sign off from each of the agencies, and then we just bring it here to let the commission know that the street has fully been accepted by the city.
no, I know we have all new utilities, all accepted and as-built, so, you know, we'll agreed on this. I just want to get a final notification, so change them. Because this doesn't go into the new street book system for a while,
These streets do show up in our street book already.
already.
Yeah.
Oh, on the online one?
As public?
Well, I don't know about the online one, but the one that exists within the city that's constantly updated, these streets are already in there.
Great.
Thank you.
Do we move on to
Yes.
public roadway acceptance number 2? At the request of AP One Channel Center owner LP and AP Channel Center Garage LLC for the acceptance as a public roadway of Richard Street, South Boston between A Street and the South Boston Hall Road.
So it's not depicted on this plan, and I apologize for that, but this is 2 segments of Richard Street. Richard Street exists here with the park and the State Street bank building here, and then Medallion Avenue bisects it, and then the street goes through to the South Boston Hall Road. So the limit of the city street will be the South Boston Hall Road, which has become a signalized intersection installed by the developer. The signal has been accepted by MassDOT. This is a fully functioning intersection and well policed by state troopers for folks who thinks they could go on the Hall Road. And the reasoning to create this street was that it connects directly to the Gillette exit for their trucks. And now their trucks go directly from the plant down Richard Street to the Hall Road and also from the Hall Road. So this whole swath, and it is also signed, so it's very clear to drivers who make this turn on Richard Street that they're not supposed to be there. Again, constructed in accordance with plans approved by BTD and all city agencies.
Great. Thank you. Public roadway acceptance number 3. At the request of AP One Channel Center owner LP, AP Channel Center Garage LLC, and the United States Postal Service for the acceptance as a public roadway of Medallion Avenue, South Boston, between West First Street and Iron Street.
So Medallion, this parcel used to be the USPS land, and their original vehicle maintenance facility was on this. So this bisects what used to be one whole parcel. This is the new Medallion Avenue in this segment. The next segment here is east of the State Street Bank building, and then to the east of that is the existing USPS vehicle maintenance facility. Medallion Avenue in this segment connects up to existing Medallion Avenue, which goes to Bedford Street. And this is two ways, and then Medallion Avenue is one way coming this way, so traffic has to turn onto Iron Street.
And back there, we do have some residential stuff when we get
Yes.
further down Medallion Ave.
Further down,
Yep.
further down, yeah.
Great. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I just had one, do we have to vote on this, or is this?
No,
Oh, good, okay.
no, it's the acceptance has been, actually come through each department individually. This is just to let the commission know that the streets have formally been accepted.
Excellent, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.